Hey guys, it's Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and I made a video a couple days ago where I talked about how I use the KSG and what works for me, and it went over really well. It was a really highly rated video. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do something similar to that for the MK-14. And before the video gets rolling here, I'm going to talk about the class a little bit. Right now I have the holographic sight and the silencer on it. And the reason that I have those two things on there is partly just to rank it up. I learned by watching T-Mart's videos that when you get like these, attachment challenges and things like that, it levels up the weapon a little bit faster. So with that, I like to run this dual attachments and then earn two things at once. Having said that, even if I wasn't leveling up the weapon, I think I might still run it about the same way. I like the red dot a little more than the holographic, but just the same, And the silencer doesn't really hurt the performance of this weapon. It still seems to be a two-shot kill from anywhere in the game, one shot to the head. So, heck, run a silencer if it's not going to take more shots to get your kill. I like to run sleight of hand just because, I don't know, I've grown addicted to sleight of hand since Black Ops, and without it, I just feel like, I can't change weapons quickly enough. I can't, reload quick enough. Everything seems to take really slow, and I get myself in hot water. I reload a gun like the PP90 without sleight of hand, and it's like, man, it's like waiting for the mail to arrive. Hardline Pro. So I run quick draw a lot. I run blast shield sometimes. But with this gun, because of the style that I use with it, and you guys are going to see in a minute, it's kind of my campy weapon. I don't run and gun with the MK-14. Now, I'm sure some of you guys can do that really effectively, but when I use this weapon, or when I use the FAD as another one like that, I tend to just shoot people across the map, try to make sure my profile is kind of small. The way that like Black Ops would want you to snipe is the way that I like to use the MK-14. That's what works for me. When I run and gun with this thing, I'm losing close quarters gunfights to PP90s, MP7s, things like that all day long. I need to control the engagement, right? And keep them on terms where the MK-14 is better than their weapon. When I don't do that, I die. Having said that, that's what the Akimbo MP9s are. I like the Akimbo FNG9s even more, but because I'm a YouTube commentator and I try to avoid hate, I've taken the FNG9s off my class months ago because sometimes people get really upset when they see them, even though I only use them, in like your backup weapon is when my primary runs out of ammo or whatever. So I use Akimbo MP9s. They're not as good as the Akimbo FMG9s, but I need something for close quarters combat because with the MK-14, in my hands anyway, I feel like I'm just about unarmed compared to your, P90 when we're in the same room together. Now, the last thing is Marksman Pro. Because I like to pick people off across the map with this weapon, Marksman Pro is awesome for this. And then I'm running the assault kill streaks, but whatever, you could run anything you want. And I run Juiced because nobody hates Juiced. Let's get the game going. From this spawn, the C spawn on Village, there's two opening routes that kind of work for me. Now, the first is running straight to C-Dom. Now, I really like to hold BC on this because the A spawn is out there in Narnia. I feel like I have to run across the entire map into other people's positions of cover to get B. The A spawn on this map is terrible. It's one of the more lopsided maps in the game. So you can get BC off the start. And one option is, since you spawn right near B, is to cap it like I did just there. The other option is to get on C, lay prone, and wait for the guy to walk around the corner. Right there. That corner right there. If you lay prone on C, 9 times out of 10, someone will come right around the door just like that guy did and try to kill you as you cap C. And by the way, that's what I do as an opening route from the other side. From the other side, see this guy? That's how I like to use this weapon. From the other side, if I've got the A spawn, I zip straight down there by C and try and kill the guys as they cap it right at the start of the game. The last thing I want is to capture that A flag, although my team always does it, is to capture that A flag and then sit there running from A to B all game long. That is a nightmare. I hate it. And this here, what I just did right there, that kind of illustrates how I like to use this gun, and I guess you could call it camping. XCal once coined the phrase aggressive camping, and he said it years ago, so he might not even, have the same thought in his head now. But aggressive camping was his term for, like, I don't know, moving from cover to cover, using the map to your advantage, like making sure that, you're behind something, or a good strafe sometimes works too if there's only one guy. But, moving around, doing your thing, but making sure that, that all these engagements are on your terms, right? And with this MK-14, if I fight a guy up close, I'm going to lose. Now, in Modern Warfare 2 and in Black Ops, I tend to play with a team a lot. And it's fun. I like playing with my friends. But something about Modern Warfare 3, I've been playing by myself a whole lot. And one of the things that's, sort of had me step up my game with regards to doing is finding the hole. It used to be like, we'd communicate, we'd work it out, we'd have guys covering different parts of the map all the time. But now, I'm looking at the little mini map in the top left and thinking, what hole needs to be plugged, right? If there's a bunch of guys on CDOM, making sure that's clear. It looks like I probably should have just let these guys handle CDOM. But if there's a bunch of guys on CDOM getting work done, then everything is fine. But if I know why I'm holding C Dom here, because I hate the A spawn. If they took C from us and then we had AB right there, then it would have been a freaking nightmare. So I stepped back to help out. But what I was saying is, I sit there and watch the minimap all game long and fill in the hole. You see all those guys looking at C right now? Look behind me on the minimap. It's covered with guys just making sure C is okay. So I leave that spot and I go to B. If that situation reverses itself, if they start spawning right here on B, or if there's a lot of trouble over on C, I see a bunch of skulls pop up, then I go and I fill in the hole there. I remember one time I was doing engineering win. That's something Hutch used to do on Machinima. And, I talked about, team communication. And this guy left a really insightful comment that opened my mind. He's like, on the PC, this might be out of date, but what he said was that on the PC, there aren't as many mics as there are on the Xbox. And he's like, and because of that, rather than, talk to each other and communicate and make sure that you've done all this, you need to sort of just intrinsically know, just sort of, to have that sixth sense and understand where you need to step up, where those holes are that need to be filled. And now I can see that happening too. When I'm in a mercenary playlist or something like that, I need to make sure that I know where those holes are that need to be filled, and I move over into position and get that work done. Coming up here in a second, I get into a more close quarters gunfight. Let's see, do I get this guy? All right, so I know I'm going to face this guy right up on top of him, and that's a problem with the MK-14. So instead what I do is I switch over to my secondary. That's how I like to set up my classes. With the exception of my anti-air class, I have kind of a close distance and a long distance accompaniment, when I have a class like this. In Modern Warfare 2, I used to run the AA-12, which now I know is more hated than it used to be. But yeah, I've run the AA-12, and when you couple that with like an assault rifle, now you've got something that absolutely beasts when you're in the same room as a bad guy. And you've got something that's really effective on a map like Estate where you can shoot almost across the thing. That's what I do here on Village, right? I've got the MK-14 where I can kill a guy from just about anywhere. And I have the Akimbo MP9s in this situation where if I get up close to a guy and I need to kill somebody, from right up close like I'm looking at right here, then I can get that done. So there's a nice double kill. I think I've got a Pavlo in the air and who knows what else. So things are going pretty well for me. One difference between Black Ops and Modern Warfare 3 that's kind of has me down is I really liked that you could evade in Black Ops. I didn't know it at the time. It was like, all right, so this is a bit of a difference, etc. But in Modern Warfare 3, if you get caught, if somebody spots you, you're just insta dead. Just deal with that. That's the situation that you're going to have. Whereas in Black Ops, if you had cover, you could take a shot or two and then duck behind and get some more cover. That it worked really well. So I still try to evade in Modern Warfare 3. It just isn't that effective. It doesn't work like it's supposed to. And I will tell you though, at this point in the game, at the midpoint, it's kind of early. Like, I don't know how many kills I have here. I'm on an 8-point streak. And I'm probably 17 kills in or something. I'm thinking Moab a little bit. And by the way, Moab, is it Moab or is it Moab? I think it's officially pronounced Moab, but White Boy calls it Moab, and I kind of like it. And I was in this live stream, and one of my subscribers was like, we don't pronounce it Toad, it's just Toad. And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of point. That makes a lot of sense. He makes a strong point. Like, it's not called Toad, so I don't know. I think I like Moab. I think I'm on the White Boy train there, and I kind of dig that. But yeah, so now I've got an ACR in my hands, and I think that's because I ran out of ammo in everything else. And I'm playing a little bit conservatively here because I'm trying to get into the Pavlo. Oh, looks like my strafe run got me a Pavlo. So this is my second Pavlo on this life, if I recall correctly, which is a good thing. But it leads back to the style of play here. And one of the things I've done in Modern Warfare 3 is I've kind of improved, and I said Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops really, the kind of games that I can play. And I like using different weapons because it develops that for me. I'm just waiting for this guy to come around the corner. When I use a shotgun, it gives me that like run and gun experience and education that you need. When I use an SMG, it does that too. When I use an assault rifle or a semi-sniper like the MK-14 or a sniper for that matter, then it teaches me about running about different ways that you can play this game. And this is the way that is a little less YouTube friendly, to be honest with you. It's a little more, make sure that you have cover here. And there it is, 27-1. I'm not sure how many kills I really had there, 28-1. I imagine I was, like 20 in, perhaps, on gun kills alone? I'm not quite sure. But, and then don't flag caps count towards Moabs too? I might have just been 1 or 2 off. Who knows? But no big deal. So yeah, using different guns in Modern Warfare 3 has educated me a lot, and it has helped me, figure out, what it takes to to play this game in different styles. Like I was playing with Juice when this game first came out, and he's like, "Yep, I play this game a lot differently than I did, at the start of Black Ops when the two of us played together a lot." And it was educational for me. So let's see. Predators love me. Predators find me sexy. They think that I'm hot. They're attracted to me. I think that's the deal because it's become like a running joke between my friends and I, just how often predators will seek me out. Like really, there wasn't a double kill anywhere on this whole map. So there was a time in this game wherein like I maybe could have more aggressively gone towards having 2 flags, but we had a nice lead. And I was working my way towards a high kill streak, so I did the sorts of things that avoid death. That's kind of how that went, and I guess that's okay. If you got the game in hand, then maybe you can play a little TDM in these things if the win is already secured. I was at this MLG event with Envy and Optic guys a while ago, and I noticed a lot of them were joking about how in pub matches they don't play the objective at all, and I was like, sort of taken aback, right? These guys were going like 62-2 and not playing the objective, and they're losing. They just completely ignore the objective. They kill kill confirmed, right? And with dog tags 10 feet away, they'd be like, let someone else get it. And for me, it was kind of eye-opening. And then I tried playing that way just a little bit, right? Because I'm like an objective guy, right? And it's like an addiction for me. I see that we need a flag. I see that something needs to happen. That becomes my entire thing about playing this game. And I tried playing, ignoring the objective, and it was like, wow. It was eye-opening how easy it is to get higher KDs. It was eye-opening how easy it is to, maybe I'll do a Road to a Moab or something. I don't know. But, I was routinely getting like 17 kill streaks and stuff like that because I was avoiding standing on the damn B-Dom flag. It's dangerous to do that stuff. I was avoiding, the hottest parts of the map. Those spots are dangerous, and when you just sort of navigate the edges and keep yourself alive, it's a lot easier to get KDs like this one, like I did in this game, because that's the nature of it. I forget just the impact that it has. You die going for a flag, or you die right after you get the flag, and I think things went well, but I forget like, oh, you know what? That death is the reason I didn't get a chopper, which is the reason I didn't get the next chopper and the Pavlo and all that stuff. It really adds up. So yeah, anyway, I still like playing the objective, but when I see guys who don't play it, it gives me a new understanding of how they got KDs like they did. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and I bet you'll also enjoy using the KSG-12, which is kind of the polar opposite in terms of how you use the gun that we just talked about now. And the other thing is Mail Monday is the top one. Mail Monday is always really successful. And finally, check the description for a link on voting for me for King of the Web. It's a charity drive, something I do every year, and you can vote 10 times a day. So if you haven't voted today, follow that link and, hook me up. Hook a brother up with the links, and, we'll make the world a better place. Surprise video on the right, subscribe on the top right. Have a good day.